So, welcome you everyone into this live session today, and this is your Posh at workplace as well as the awareness, then compliance as well as the career scope into the Posh. We are covering these which three may also not be into the whole program later on, but it should be also connected and link your learning what you are learning into this today's live session. So then it come to about there are the 11 questions which we have been collected from the registrant who has been registered for this program. So we have been selected the 11 questions which are more relevant as well as more important, which required for your when you have to create awareness, when you have to be implement, then you have to be comply at the end, and third one the career scopes too. So there it is about the, if I pick the first question number one, so that is about the which document or what types of the documents you require to be maintained. However, there are the broadly thorough list of the smaller document, but broadly when you have to be complied there, you should have a must and most important one, you should have or you must have a policy. That policy, before that there is one most important document where rarely the, even though if you have agency, they rarely here there is one document required to be issued by your management, that is known as the Posh order. That order should be issued because law is defining that the your employer is responsible for any types of the circumstances implementation, whatever is there, he is solely responsible for that. However, behalf of the employer there are the provision of the committee, and that committee is new. So it is about the documentation. So number one, it should be the major, the Bible and the guiding principle for your all the Posh provision, and how you are implementing it into the organization, and how you are assuring the three objective of that Posh law 2013, the prevention, prohibition and redressal, that is derived through your Posh law. That is the most important document, and every other documents are lies with them. So then it come to the next one into the policy. It is about the procedure, how you have to proceeding. That is a broader perspective. However, when you are designing a policy, you are engaging some agencies also that charges the fee around or minimum 1 lakh and up to 5 lakh for just for designing the Posh policy. So that's why it is most crucial and most important part. Then secondly, it is after the other documents, then you have to be formation of the committee. In that committee, how many members are there, they record, you have to be put into record. Then you have been implements a display of the different records. So what are that, I am also sharing with you in the when we will come up with the actual the learning from this live session today. Then it come to the next one, it is about your document. Then there you have some different trainings or awareness session you have been created. Then after there should be the quarterly training that records, or the MOM you have to be keep for the record in your. And then after there is the different reports or the annual reports you have to prepare, so that you need to be keep as a document. If any case happens, so there are the another documents you required, like the how you will address the acknowledge the complaint, then what are the different steps for the redressing of your complaint, and furthermore there the inquiry how you have been initiated. So everything should be documented because it is the documented base, because the committee has been the similar power given by the law similar to the civil code. So that's why you have to keep the every document into the proper manner and for the limited period of unlimited period of time. There are certain document which will be for the 3 years like the other law into when you talk about the labor law, but here under the Posh Act there many or maximum document you have to kept for the longer period of time. Then it come to the second question which has been asked by the participant or who has been registered for this program. So the Posh trainer need to be a lawyer, it is not necessary. So when you have to become a Posh trainer, so it is about you should have very well and known about the law, but furthermore when you are a Posh trainer, you have to be broadly find out that where you can get the most of the maximum information, because the law is not giving you the crux information what you have to do the stepwise like the other regulation, that is given only the law has been given only the information what is required, but where you have to get it. So it does not is important that the you must be a lawyer only. So anyone can become a Posh trainer, but you should have the knowledge of the law. Then after the different activities, the Posh is the activity based program or the activity based regulation which you require to be compliance. When it come, it is only the maintaining of the document, but reaching to that level of the document, there are the different activities into the different level you have to be initiate. The third question which come to us, that is the building the career as an a Posh practitioner and opportunities what are available, so that I am sharing it. So as an a career, it is a opportunity for an the individual as an Posh practitioner. So it is like an a doctor, so multiple opportunities you have. So there are 7 to 8 number of the opportunity which you can grab if you learn the advanced skills as well as the practices of the Posh, how you have to implement it, how you have to ensure 200% compliance, the different types of the document, how to standardize that. So there are the different ways. So that ways I am also sharing with you at the end. Then how you can be a gender neutral when implemented Posh. So in the beginning, I have been mentioned or shared with you, there is your Posh policy, which is known as anti-harassment policy. That is your one of the document. If you drafted it based on your internal culture, your environment, as well as your people's and management intention, so that is only you can have, or you can be with the gender neutral in your organization when implement. There are the many practices you have to be initiate. Number one, it is about aligning with your management, where the first thing I have been mentioned, the one document, there you need one document, the Posh order, their format, their what should be into that Posh format. That is the important document. Drafting of the where you are bounding your management, whatever the committee, because that is a neutral body and the autonomous body, whatever the suggestion that is giving, but that should be really into the fact based and realistic. But how to reach to that level, that you have to be teach, or you have to be make skilled those that your committee members too. So for that, someone should be expert into those areas. So that's why you can be do it through the your Posh policy. And that is number one, the policy, their most and important objective is to the zero tolerance or the zero Posh cases. So how you can assure that? So that you have to define everything into your policy, and accordingly you have to be implement that at the ground. So next level, I am also sharing what types of the activity you can initiate at the ground level to resemblance your policy, the document you have been drafted at the realistic and real place, where you can make everyone as the ambassador of your Posh policy or your Posh rules regulations in your organization, so that you can really create the gender or the develop the gender neutral environment into your organization. The fifth question which come to us, that is about the what should be the composition of the ICC normally, which is required by the law. So they required only the 4 members. One should be presiding officer, then there are 2 internal, the representative of your employee. That fourth one should be some external member. That member should be any from any organization, or either he should be expert into the Posh regulation or the Posh cases or the Posh related regulations. So these are the mandatory 4 members required. However, you cannot be find anything there with your that your committee, it should be 4 members. The committee is, or the law, or even though the further there are the different provision not defined into the Posh Act 2013 or this rule, it is from the different the regulation issued and the issued by the different other perspective. Like there is the Department of the Development of Training by the Government of India, majorly under the Central Civil Services. It has been broadly provided what you have to exactly do. So for that, you have to be gone through different types of the notification. There are around 5 to 6 number of the notification which issued by the DOPT. DOPT is a Department of the Development and Training by the central government for the central civil center servants. So there it has been defined what you have to initiate. So there you have to thoroughly, it is a similarly the Bible of the regulations of the law. There's the book, bigger books, or where it is 13 to 14 pages of the one each regulations are there, which you have to thoroughly go through. Then after you can reach to ultimately that what you have to be do at the furthermore the composition of committee. It is the minimum there should be 4 members. Then furthermore it will be depend on, you have to be give the specifically representative the numbers. So at the in the when we will start for the learnings, then I will share you what should be the ratio. And there is the how to bring the more awareness to those these sensitive issue to the Posh if the team is not so well educated or mostly at a junior level. So it will be everything one documented. Then it should be either you are a coordinator, you have been the skill into that, or you are engaging the agencies. However, the agencies when they come, it is a part of the implementation. Then after it is everything on the HR or who are into the maintaining the compliance, or either it is the committee. Till then the committee does not have the skill into that how they have to create the sensitization. So it is your committee will be useless into organizations. For that, what you have to do, when you are going to be implement first time, there you have to be go with a specific activity. So there are the like, however, into the law, it has been prescribed that there should be quarterly meeting by the ICC, and accordingly, you have to be sensitization program. That is a regular process. Posh compliance does not mean just a one-time implementation. It is the regular process. The periodically or in the spell of time, either quarterly or monthly, it will depend on how broad is your organization. So you have to be covered at least 1 hour of training you have to be give to the everyone. So this is the one part. Second part, what you can do, so there you have been seen like there the nukkad natak. So this types of the activity you can initiate into your free time. Volunteer, you have to be that you have to be get some volunteer who can be participant into that, who will create the awareness. But furthermore, it is important for you how to identify those people who can be really the volunteer. There you have to be take care certain things. I'm also declaring that into further when we are learning the actually what we are covering here. The next question, it is about how to conduct the innovative way of the Posh and hospital sector. For the hospital sector or whatever is there, it is applicable similarly to the all the organization. What happen when you are creating or when you are conducting the innovative way to Posh implementation, they require 3 levels. That 3 levels, even though you are also hiring a bigger number of agencies who are charging for their services huge money, but furthermore, no one tell you the important things. When you have to be effectively implement it anywhere, there you required the two important thing in the beginning, because the Posh is not a ready-made for every organization. It is about assuring your safe workplace and safeguarding the female. First one, it is focusing on the female. However, furthermore, it does not mean that relevantly only to the female. So it is covering now the every one into the organization. Then it come to the there are the you have to initiate. You have to assess your organization culture first. How what is your relation or your people relation together while they are into the working place. Second one, what is your system drive? Third one, what is your management initiative and thought process to driving these regulation, even though it is defined by the law, but furthermore, how intentionally your management is really to assure such things. However, if the Posh cases are there, it is impacting the business branding of the organization that I am also sharing with you at the end. So these are the effective way that you have to be initiate in the first step. That these 3 analysis or assessment or your organization will give you the outline how you are going further to draft your whole policy for your Posh provision implementation. Then it come to the, however, for the hospitals, it is not that meant that the industry, either it may be the hospital or it may be other industry, it is similar to that. So ready-madely, you can be put that into your organization scenario only for the compliance purpose. But that is not the surety and a guarantee. It will be assure your objective. Either it is the zero tolerance, either it is the zero cases of Posh into your organization. Then you have to be learn the deep practices, how it need to be initiated. And then how it need to be monitored. Initiation is the one part where you can engage some agents, you will pay them 5 to 10 lakh rupees, then they will draft your policy, and one time very vibrant in that environment they can create. But for the longer run, you must learn something you can initiate by yourself. So that is about your committee. You need to be make them more proficient into the Posh related mechanism dealing or the providing the redressal. So that's why in the law there has been provided the 3 objective which require to be addressed or addressed through the Posh. One is the prevention. How to prevention? If the prevention is not successful, then how to prohibit? And third, if these first two is not successful, then the third one, the redressal. So these are the 3 provision and solution provided under law. But furthermore, there is how you have to implement that will be depend on your skill, your expertise. Then the next one, here the question number 8, which come to us, how to choose the Posh career, what all does it to make? How to choose? It is up to you, like when you have been chosen any career, so it will be based on your interest. However, when I talk about the Posh, so it is the opportunities where it can be scale yourself as an entrepreneur, as an the freelancer as an the consultant also, so that I am also covering into the broadly later where what types of the opportunity the Posh law is giving to as an career. So then it is coming the another question which come to us. So that is it is mandatory to have a committee member for a small group of people. It is not mandatory because as per the law, it is defining the for maximum member into the committee. So it does not mean it will be give the small 5 member, 6 member. But reason is that then it should be at least because there is the other perspective which is defined under the notification regulation of the central service rule for the Posh into the central services commission. So that is defining into your whole that committee in an organization in an establishment because it should be establishment based, like if there is an organization, in this organization there are the different branches, the committee should be existing into the each branches. So now the question is that the mandatory to have the committee member for a small group of people. So it is about the maximum number of the committee that can be 19. Maximum number you can engage up till 90. It should not be more than 90. And second thing you need to be keep in mind in your committee, there should be the odd numbers in the committee members, because in the committee every decision made on the majority basis. If there will be 4 members only, so it will be issue, there will be multi-time tie, or you cannot reach, your committee cannot reach to a quick decision because the law is providing the time limits. You have to be do all the, or you have to complete certain activities or initiation within the time limit. So that's why everywhere in the committee there should be odd numbers members, including the external and your presiding officer. So at least minimum 5 also. If your organization is like the committee formation is applicable for the 10 number of the employee engaged by any organization, it is applicable. If in organization there are less than 10 number of employees, so committee formation is not mandatory, but policy is mandatory for every organization. And maintaining of the certain records, it is also mandatory, like the awareness, the trainings, it is also mandatory. Then it comes to the smaller group. You can define it based on that. Either in your organization there are 2000 employee and your limitation for the committee member is only 19, so it is around, or on the 200 member 1 employee, or 100 member 1 on 100 members there are only 1 representative for that. So it does not matter, but it should be at least where you have a group at least 50 70. So for representative of the 50 number there should be at least 1 representative. So it is the ideally. Then the another question which come to us, that is the constitution of vice committee when there is no female employee in the establishment. However, as per the law, it is mandatory. So you should have a female member into the presiding officer. But if it is not into the organization, there are the other branches, subsidiaries, so then you can hire, because one presiding officer, she can be presiding officer for the many committees. So that is the one solution for the female employee or the female member. Either if in organization there is no female employees, so what you can do, so external member you are hiring so that you can engage the female, but that or she could not be a female, that is the presiding officer. So you have to be take care of that. Then it come to the last question which come to us, that is about the what are the basic rule to follow the Posh activities. So basic rule is that you need a policy and what you have been drafted. So that is the Bible and the principle of the rule for your organization. Then you have to be follow that. But before that is it is important, but how to draft that policy based on your customized organization requirement, that is the expert skills required by the professional who are the Posh practitioner or either the Posh consultant, Posh trainer. Whatever, trainer is a secondary part, but it is about the practitioner too. So these are the 11 questions which come to us. So most of all I have been covered here. Then come to the actually what we are covering into this live session.